Hello, let's talk about range hoods as the machine to assist with keeping your kitchen clean and sense and smoke uh, while cooking. It is so big surprise. So many rich hood brand choices exist. All things considered, who don't maintain that wonderful spot should plan food, visit, cook, drink wine, and eat in. A, a kitchen is one of the significant social communities of a home, uh, and it does not damage to incorporate inco- damage to uh, incorporate another rich hood in the event you are arranging a kitchen rebuild. And in an um, appropriately working and effective rich hood will assist um, assist it with remaining as such or transform previous previously smoky kitchen into a spotless, living, inviting space where you and your friends and family can assemble. To assist you with reducing your quest for a rich hood, we have investigated the top rich hood marks and choose the best 10. This guide will assist you with concluding which brands make range hoods fit for addressing the requirements of your home. Every one of the brands in this rundown produces an assortment of rich hood types. Instructions to figure out which rich hood brand is best for you kinds of rich hoods accessible. It is probably you will be searching for a particular kind of rich hood, whether it needs to fit an island, go under a burrow, or must have a ductless ventilation choice. While all brands uh, uh, all brands duct choice, while um, all brands in the rundown will to assist you that reducing request for a rich hood. Every one in the brands in this rundown are accessible. It is probably you will be searching for a particular kind. It must be a since quality will satisfy you. The more a solitary soft rather than other. Uh, uh, Meaning it's almost certain the craftsmanship and quality and satisfy hopes. Assuming that you definitely understand what sort of ritual you will require, it might assist you with searching for a brand that appears to practice and go from that point. Likewise, a few organizations are more probable than others to help with distribution packs of the same as such As such, um, the materials important to divert a rich wood unit from a ventilation on work to a ductless framework. Not all rich woods, uh, not all rich woods are convertible, and when they are, you typically need to utilize items sold by the parent organization to make uh, the transformation conceivable. If you really want this help or need to keep the choice of a ductless framework open, ensure the brand can uphold your undertaking, and substitution items like carbon channels are not difficult to track down and buy. Nature of client and related administrations, establishment administration guarantee, and so on. A few brands offer establishment administrations or additional client service through establishment interaction. Mm, Since introducing a rich hood can be a tedious and confounding cycle, particularly for bigger units like island range hoods or where a convoluted ventilation work setup increase the work. Some additional assistance on the speed with dialing can offer a genuine advantage. The equivalent is valid for any issues you might have with your unit after establishment. A skillful and reachable client support division will assist with limiting your pressure and keeping your migraine free, regardless of whether you are calling from the center of a startlingly smoky kitchen. Investigate the sort of guarantees a brand will propose on its items. As, as a general rule, you need to pick brands with as near full inclusion guarantees as could be expected. In the event that your item breaks or shows up harmed, you will have the option to return the money in question or swap. Some of the time, for a particular part, in some cases for the whole unit, brands with a careful and sensible guarantees exhibit trust in the nature of item, which ought to manage the cost of you some genuine serenity about your buy. In the event that your favored retail location does not convey the brand of rich hood you need, it is smarter to be aware uh, before you have your heart set on a specific model. Because of online conveyance benefits, this is not probable and immense thought for most customers. In the event that you like to test the item face to face, like someplace not effectively open by standard conveyance benefits, or favor the experience of purchasing coming up, make certain to consider this component while picking a brand to buy from. Likewise, worth considering is the manner by which open new parts or establishment fixed administrations will be on the off chance that you at any point end up in a circumstance where you want them. Five kind of rich hoods, um, island rich hoods. Have a kitchen with an island range. You will need to investigate island range hood units mounted on the roof so they hang suspended over your burner. Ventilation work is introduced in the roof, which should be sufficiently high to meet the freedom rules over your burner. Island range hoods are regularly intended to draw the eye since they frequently take on a highlight job in your kitchen. Because of this multitude of elements, they are by and large more costly and have a more convoluted establishment process than other rich hood. Uh, Downdraft rich hood. Downdraft rich hoods are a useful decision on the off chance that you cannot introduce ventilation work in your roof or walls. All things considered, all the framework is introduced in the floor, taking into consideration venting after the downdraft, range hood draws and diverts dirtied air downwards. uh, while they can show up very sleek and present day, since they are frequently introduced as vent units that spring up from your counter or island. These units are known to need power and are not as productive as eliminating air poisons from your kitchen, contrasted with different sorts of rich hoods. Wall mounted rich hoods. In the event that the space over your burner is vacant of cabinetry or developments, you can introduce a wall mounted range hood, otherwise called a smokestack hood, because of its appearance and the capability of the ventilation framework. These come in ducted and ductless forms and can deal with high CPM rates. These units are likewise frequently a proclamation piece in a kitchen, similar to an island range hood. Because of the wide assortment of shapes, varieties, sizes, and plans accessible for procurement under Bureau-Rich range hood. Assuming you, as of now, have cupboards introduced over your burner, you probably need an under bureau range hood planned explicitly to be mounted on the underside of existing cabinetry. These units are both lighter and more modest than different sorts of rich hoods. They come in ducted and ductless models and frequently can be changed over. Under cupboard range, hoods can generally deal with high CPMs and can accompany extravagant elements like their bigger partners. So there is a compelling reason need to stress you are passing up quality or productivity in the event that you buy an under bureau range hood. For regular cooks who need to keep at any rate some bureau space, this sort of rich hood is possible the most ideal choice. Microwave range hoods are fabricated straightforwardly into the underside of your microwave unit, introduced straight over your burner, similar to an under bureau range hood. Microwave range hoods normally utilize a recycling framework to channel and vent air. Microwave range hoods are not for the most part as strong or productive as your standard ridge hood. You should not anticipate that your microwave range hood should have the option to thoroughly eliminate any confusion while pan searing, for instance. While this would be completely sensible to expect for a wall-mounted unit with a higher CPM, approach to decide the best rich hood brand positioning. The Forbes Home Improvement Publication group investigated outsider information on 18 organization. Each organization's star is not entirely settled by assessing various measurements, including normal cost, client audits, kinds of reach hood, number of retailers accessible, guarantee, number of accessible completion, variety choices, um, uh, hobby hood corporation, conventional range hood. The conventional range hood has two flat vertical lashes, a huge cover, and is intended to mix consistently into practically any home. Uh, all rich hoods delivered by this organization are 26-inch tall and intended for an 8-foot roof. Experts, all rich hoods made by this organization are adaptable. The customary series comes in 10 different body shapes, an assortment of metal completion choices, and a few different metal completion choices for the lashes and bowls. Range hoods with a top level, the tie can have a vent added to them, which makes the machine reasonable for a 9 or 10-foot roof. This organization has no pre-planned models to browse. To buy a rich hood, clients should tweak the actual plan, which can time consuming. Royal uh, WHP 1900 PS1 TWB8 wall reach hood. The wall reach hood is planned with a pyramid-like construction. It is 14-inch high and 24-inch profound. This model can be bought with a width of 48 or 54-inch. Limit up to 1290 CFM. This royal model has a hardened steel finish, and clients have the choice to add a dark or white powder coat. It contains aluminum puzzle channels that are dishwasher safe, has two driven lights on the front board, and double twin blowers to guarantee effective execution. Royal Kitchen Ventilation likewise gives a 7-year guarantee on their items. The lights on this model might wear out regularly and should be changed. Extreme Air USAPX02 B1 DL02 favorable to X series. The Extreme Air support tip of X series has a flawlessly created, consistent body that is made with a hardened steel. And the steel and portions of this rich wood are made beyond the USA. However, I have decided to incorporate this rich wood since it is plant designed and collected in the USA and it is a decent item. Professionals, these rich wood accompanies hardened steel puzzle channels that are dishwasher safe and a long passage oil compartment that can be eliminated. It is likewise outfitted with a touch screen electronic control board where clients can pick either four distinct um, velocities or turn on the blue drop light showcase. Likewise, the rich hood has a programmable default stopped. The light delivered by the drop lights has an extremely high variety temperature, so it may match the lighting in certain kitchens in spite of the fact that it very well may be supplanted with any GU10 attachment type bulb in the temperature variety that you like. The metal cellar expressions and artworks, copper rich wood artistic expression and artworks, copper rich wood connection to maker website page is handmade utilizing 48 OZ of, of copper and solid casting. Purchase can tweak the travel with finish surface groups, a fan unit, and a channel kind of this rich wood. Mm, Stars mm, contingent upon the ideal width of the model. These rich wood accompanies two or three incandescent lights. It is likewise ready to identify unnecessary intensity, and the speed of the fan will change consequently accordingly. This model has numerous speed settings going from 500 to 1500 CFM. Since this item is carefully assembled, it ordinarily requires 8 to 12 weeks to convey, however, can take significantly longer. Assuming that you really want your rich food in no less than 12 weeks or prior, it will cost an extra 600 at the Vogler metalwork and plan elevated ridgewood. The snow-capped ridgewood connection to Maker website page is a particularly planned model which has a body shape that highlights two bends and a tightened straight line. It is a planned or tweaked by the client and is accessible to buy with a wide assortment of surfaces and wraps up. Experts, this item involves 10% adulterated zinc and copper in a large number of its parts because of their non-porous properties. These metals are extremely simple to clean. Since these metals are likewise in exceptionally delicate, they can have an interesting surface applied to them. To get more data on these items elements, clients should contact the merchant straightforwardly. instead of per using the organization's site. Furthermore, huge things, for example, a rich hood can be sent from this organization, yet it will cost 150 to $300 cost in contingent upon the area of the purchaser. Culmination machine and the ADAH1624SS connection to producer page an is an under-bureau range hood that is developed utilizing tempered steel and is likewise covered with brushed treated steel on its outside. Mm, and stars, and this item is ADA consistent. It accompanies a white wall switch, so the controls can be introduced independently from the reach hood uh, at a lower level as per ADA rules. It is convertible, meaning it very well may be utilized with top or back venting, yet can be changed over into a non-vented or recycling mode. It incorporates a two-speed fan to meet different ventilation needs. While this model is fabricated in the USA, not all items from this organization are made in the US. This item does not accompany a light. Present day Air PS19 is totally adjustable and has a wide assortment of interesting elements for purchasers to look over while planning to reach hood that is best for their home. Starts the width profoundly. A level of this rich hood can be in every way tweaked to guarantee that it is an ideal fit for your home. This rich hood can be intended to have width somewhere in the range of 30 inch to 96 inch and a level of 90 to 100 inch. This model is additionally furnished with halogen lighting and tempered steel confuse channels, limit 200 to 1400 cfm in the event that assuming you get the inward, outside, or inline browser. Current air range hoods are pricier in contrast with other rich hoods accessible to buy. Most buyers are content with the presentation of this machine, yet said it can turn somewhat clearly every once in a while. Statics plan Birmingham series would rich wood um, range hoods from the Birmingham series. Connection to producer website page are one of a kind, polished, and accessible in various plans. These rich hoods can be redone and requested with a width of up to 60 inch. Purchasers have the choice to arrange their rich wood with a hardwood base, a beautifying base, or a treated steel base. Each rich hood inside the Birmingham series has an extraordinary plan. There are a lot of styles to look over to guarantee that you select the rich hood that fits best in your home. This organization does not sell straightforwardly to people in general. Estimating statements should be gotten through a bureau or proficient nonetheless. Nonetheless, you can contact the maker utilizing their site with any inquiries you have in regards to their item. A rich hood is an indispensable piece of your kitchen, both in fact and stylishly. These staple apparatuses eliminate smoke, oil, and exhaust and channel the air. They likewise give enlightenment to ordinary cooking as well as a delicate faint highlight light for mood. But since range hoods are at eye level, they are in many cases the principal thing your visitors will see when they stroll into the room. Inside planners utilize this chance to make a plan proclamation. In this article, we will walk you through all that you want to realize about range hoods, from capabilities and highlights to contrast in the plan. We will respond to questions, for example, how high you really want to put them over your oven. We will discuss our picks from the best brands available. For what reason do you want a rich hood? A rich hood is a machine that is loomed over your cooktop. They fill five unmistakable needs, including eliminating scents, smoke, and oil, enlightening your cooktop, and adding a component of the plan to your kitchen. Assuming that you have at any point cooked broccoli or fish, you know that it is so vital to vent the smell appropriately. This is where decent rich would sparkles, as wiping out most of the smell from your kitchen is capable. While you are concocting something tasty, you will believe that your visitors should see the value in the smell of shimmered garlic or sauteed peppers and onions, be that as it may, not to fear. Undoubtedly, a few components of the smell will get away from in your kitchen while cooking, yet the fragrance will be less strong. Eventually, your home won't end up resembling asparagus throughout the evening. Um, a You are concocting a pound of oily bacon on a Sunday morning when unexpectedly the smoke appears to take on an unmistakable overflow of energy. You go around the house, opening window to forestall the smoke portion from going off and awakening every other person in the home. One method for forestalling this pointless disorder is to introduce a rich hood. At the point when turned on, the ventilation can course clean air and eliminate smoke. This forestalls the smoke alert from going off superfluously. Superfluously eliminated uh, air oil. Discussing oily bacon, have you at any point strolled into a home with oil development on the walls or kitchen cupboards without legitimate ventilation? Oil particles from cooking are delivered up high and append themselves to the backsplash walls and shades, and that is just at the beginning. This outcome in unattractive oil stains all over range hoods, trap oil in their channels, and keep it from being scattered all through the kitchen. Hoping to add an additional uh, wellspring of light to your kitchen. A rich hood enlightens your cooktop and your entire kitchen, truly giving you additional light when you really want it most. Other than being practical, this adds a dazzling and smooth plan component to your kitchen. Adds an exquisite plan component to your kitchen, truly giving you additional light when you really want it most. Other than being practical, this adds a dazzling and smooth plan component to your kitchen. Adds an exquisite plan component to your kitchen. A rich food can likewise turn into the point of convergence of your kitchen plan, since the vent hood is normally at eye level. It will grab your visitor's eye when they stroll into the room. For what reason could a rich hood be some unacceptable fit? A rich hood won't be an ideal choice for your kitchen in the event that you are coming up short on space. For instance, in the event that you live in a little condo and don't have any desire to think twice about uh, space, you may, on the other hand, settle on an oven over the rich microwave. This setup will let loose space on your ledge that would ordinarily be involved by a ledge microwave, and over the range microwave fills in as a two-in-one machine, reasonable for cooking um, as well as ventilation. Also, you will profit from its light. It's to enlighten your cooking surface. In the event that you have a 24 or a 30-inch burner, an over the range microwave is an extraordinary choice for you. There are numerous interesting points while looking for a rich hood. That is the reason we have organized a rundown of this contemplation to direct you through the cycles. Well-mounted range hoods are, as their name recommends, put on the wall over your burner. We While mount hoods are quite possibly of the most well-known type available and are reasonable what you picture when you consider ventilation. You might pick this sort in the event that you are searching for a machine and that will turn into a point of convergence of your kitchen plan. There are four styles of wall-mounted hoods under the bureau: slice out, chimney stack, and star style under bureau. Under the bureau, range hoods represent 95% of all hoods sold. Assuming that you live in a metropolitan loft, you likely either have an over the range microwave or an under bureau hood. Under cupboard hoods are the ideal decision, assuming you have a kitchen cabinetry over your cooktop. They are somewhat more or circumspect than wall-mounted or island range hoods, yet add an exquisite touch to your kitchen. Slide out hoods straightforwardly and slide out from underneath your cupboards. These positions of safety hoods are many times tracked down in lofts. Since they are effectively covered up, they are an incredible choice for a moderate kitchen. Huge kitchens ordinarily highlight an exemplary style chimney stack wood. Remember, this plan style implies that you should sacrifice kitchen cupboards over your cooktop. Stack style woods are a work of art and reach point of convergence that will catch your visitors' consideration the subsequent they stroll into your kitchen. The S style gives your kitchen an expert and smooth look. S style hoods are normally bigger than different styles of rich hoods. The coolest part about this style is that you can frequently arrange it when in custom tones. For instance, with a blue star master style range, you can send a variety of taste in to the production line and they will match it for you. This makes an exceptional standout range hood for your home. Island range hoods swing from your roof uh, and are an extraordinary choice if your cooktop is not situated under a wall against a wall. This type is generally proper on the off chance that your oven is situated on a middle island. Island ventilation is most certainly a noticeable and cons- conspicuous plan explanation. Have a middle island where you frequently engage visitors. Flush roof mount. Flush roof mount range hoods permits you to appropriately vent your kitchen without blocking the perspective of the sitting opposite you. This cautious planned expression helps maintain the emphasis on different parts of your kitchen. Searching for a consistent, thoroughly search in your kitchen. Wood embeds are intended to make your rich wood mix in with the remainder of your cabinetry. In any case, it is vital to take note of that hood embeds are not exactly the same thing as hood liners, despite the fact that many individuals utilize the names conversely. Hood liners safeguard your kitchen cupboards against harm. Rather than introducing the hood to your bureau, you can decide to introduce it to a liner. Consider it wearing a couple of socks with your shoes. Similarly, as the socks safeguard your feet, the liner safeguards your cupboards. Once more, right term for a hood embed is an inherent rich hood downdraft, albeit a wonderfully created range, hood can turn into the point of convergence of your kitchen. There are certain individuals who would prefer not to see a hood by any means. In the event that you favor present day moderation. A door draft hood might be a decent choice for you. Downdraft hoods slide out from your cooktop when you really want them and can, without much of a stretch, be covered up when not being used. These hoods move smoke and exhaust uh, descending as opposed to vertically, notwithstanding they could you at any point vent out. While picking a range hood, you should initially decide if you can vent the air outside. Assuming the response is yes, you will require a ducted hood. You should decide whether your kitchen requires level or vertical ducting, as well as what size ducting is generally suitable. Assuming the response is no, you will require a non-ducted or recycling hood. This implies that the air is shifted out inside the hood and delivered once again into the home rather than being vented outside. You may likewise have the option to decide on a convertible ridge hood, which can be utilized either ducted or non-ducted. All ducted or convertible ridge hoods accompany uh, vertical or even venting choices. There are a select number of hoods that offer both venting types. It is really smart to check with your contractor about your site's explicit necessities prior to making your buy. With regards to the improving style, the choices are essentially perpetual. The extraordinary thing about range hood is that they can be as involved or uninvolved in the kitchen plan as you wish. Whether you are searching for a shocking masterpiece or a moderate and practical hood, there is a plan to meet your requirements. Glass range hoods are made of a combination of both glass and tempered steel. They act as a smooth and current plan decision in your kitchen. Groups, bowls, and gold trim can likewise add a hint of style and refinement to your Richwood logo. You will likewise need to conclude whether you need to see the producer's logo on your Richwood. For instance, Wolf does not etch their logo on their star choice. All this considered, the maker remembers it for a different nameplate that can be connected to the hood. Lighting installation carbon copies, albeit certain individuals love the intense plan proclamation, others incline toward a more unobtrusive, unobtrusive look. Some rich hoods even seem to be lighting installations. As a matter of fact, these hoods are an extraordinary choice in the event that you could do without the convention look. Legitimate measuring attractions, power, and aspects. Attractions, power, and estimated in CFM. The force of a rich hood is estimated by CFM or cubic feet each moment. At the end of the day, a CMF of 350 meters, 350 cubic feet of air is being blown every moment. It is essential to realize your neighborhood building regulation, which lets you know the most extreme CFM permitted in your town. As a guideline, 400 to 600 CFMs are all that could possibly be needed for most homes. In the event that your browser is outside your home, it should work harder to eliminate the smoke from your kitchen. Along these lines, an outside blower requires more power. Blower CFM's attractions measurements are not all that matters. Every maker is answerable for guaranteeing the CFMs for their items. Be that as it may, a couple of producers like Best make their items that anyone could hope to find to hbi.org testing. In this way, when Best distributes a CFM number, we can trust it. Nonetheless, in the event that a maker does not present their items for HBI testing, you should believe the CFM numbers tentatively and remember that they have not been freely confirmed. It is likewise essential to consider the actual components of your reach hood. Width, level, and profundity are extremely significant as far as ensuring the hood fits in the space allotted. In any case, these are likewise significant security contemplations to remember. The width of the hood cannot be more modest than the width of the cooking surface. The hood notwithstanding can withstanding be around 3 inches greater than the cooktop. Anything else than that will be insufficient at appropriately catching and venting smoke and exhaust. Profundity. Have you at any point seen a vent hood that sticks out excessively far? This is a direct result of mistaken profundity. Makers frequently make their item in various profundities to accommodate various kitchens. Thus, on the off chance that you track down the ideal hood, however, figure it will stand out from your kitchen cupboards to an extreme. Relax, basically. Select the profundity that will turn out best for your space. How level, how high up should your reach would be? Level would be. Shockingly, the number did not depend on whether the hood is eye level. Ventilation ought to be put around 30 to 60 creeps above the cooking surface. Assuming it is set excessively high, it will not be successful at catching oil, smoke, and exhaust. Notwithstanding, assuming it is set excessively near the cooktop, the reach can dissolve. The level is particularly significant and on the off chance that you have a gas cooktop, as the intensify can undoubtedly escape from the lower part of the pot while cooking. With the acceptance of electric cooktops, the reach can be put nearer to the cooktop. This will likewise guarantee that brutal scents won't spread to the remainder of the kitchen. Something else is remembering is that similar to profundity, producers make hoods in various levels. Accordingly, it is critical to pick the level that will work best in your kitchen. Contingent upon your necessities and inclinations, different ventilation choices are accessible. Range hoods have one of three kinds of blower: interior, outside, or inline. Inside blower, as its name proposes, interior blowers live inside the body of the hood. Inside blowers are not difficult to introduce, yet are normally stronger than outer or inline blowers. Outside Blowers are perfect for people who are effortlessly irritated by the commotion. These blowers are generally enormous and leave external the home. Outer blowers' capability by sucking in air, shifting it, and delivering it outside the home. Inline blowers join the force of both inward and outward blowers. In any case, the greatest contrast in an inline blower is that it doesn't live inside the hood. All things being equal, the blower is situated inside your ducting framework. It is normally put away in a far off region like the cellar or loft. Downdrafts are an exceptional case uh, in the realm of rich hoods, as they are by and large intended to work with cooktops on an island. Notwithstanding, in the event that you introduce a cooktop on a kitchen island, you most likely don't have any desire to obstruct your perspective on your family and visitors with an enormous gadgets. All thing being equal, you can choose a downdraft blower. This implies that the chimney stack will ascend from the counter during cooking, and the blower and ventilation work will be situated in the cupboard right underneath the cooktop. Just the Katura series of hoods from best accompanies different establishment choices to oblige adaptable areas for the pipe and the engine. This creates Katura, the main downdraft you can use with a cooking range. You have two principal decisions with regard to the channel in your rich hood: a cross section or astound. Uh, Albeit the two channels um, are similarly as successful as catching oil, they contrast in plan and usability. There is likewise a third kind of channel known as a charcoal channel. Nonetheless, charcoal channels are auxiliary channels intended to trap and eliminate smells from your kitchen. Network channels are made of aluminum or treated steel network and are commonly simpler to remove in and from your hood. They are less expensive than Astound channels, however, are harder to clean manually. In any case, some lat- lattice channels can be put in the dishwasher, yet in every case, two folds check to make sure. Wilder channels are regularly tracked down in modern or business kitchens. Nonetheless, they have become famous in private kitchens since they give the room a more expert look. In spite of the fact that perplex channels are more costly than network channels, they are generally more sturdy. For what reason do I want a rich hood in my outside kitchen? Many individuals erroneously expect that they don't have to ventilate their open air kitchen, be that as it may, assuming that your outside kitchen is a world you will in need a vent hood. Why? For the majority of similar reasons, you want one inside. You begin without a hood. Your encased open air kitchen will be smoky, and the exhaust and scents won't ventilate as expected. One of the Greatest contrast between an indoor and outdoor range hood is that an open air hood just must be 42 creeps over the cooking surface, contrasted with the 36-inch distance of an indoor hood. This gives you expanded adaptability while engaging outside.